Imagine this. The marathon crown lies on the ground, and 5 runners are already fighting for it. But there are 2 more names, hidden in the shadows, that could change everything overnight. Who's the fastest? Who's the youngest? Who's bringing an impossible time nobody saw coming? And who could show up unannounced and break all the rules? Today, you'll discover the runners who might rule the next 10 years, and one of them is already closer to the record than people think. First name, Sabastian Sawe, a runner who's changing the marathon without saying a word. In London, he ran so fast many thought it was just a perfect day. But a few weeks later in Berlin, he did almost the same, proving it wasn't luck, it was level. And that's what's most unsettling. Sawe doesn't have isolated performances. He's on a steady climb that hasn't stopped. While others win with dramatic finishes, Sawe wins with cold precision. He doesn't look back. He doesn't gesture. He doesn't celebrate early. He just sets a pace that looks reasonable, until you realize that pace is breaking you apart from the inside. Coaches who know him say he hasn't hit his ceiling yet. They claim that in altitude training he's posted splits so absurd they've been kept secret to avoid disbelief. Which raises a serious question. What if Sawe doesn't just want to win races? What if he wants to own an entire generation? If he keeps progressing like this, he could become the hardest man to beat in years. And the best, or the scariest, part, depending on how you see it, he's still getting better. Second name, Tadese Takele. So young he should still be finding his distance, yet already winning marathons where veterans collapse. In Tokyo, he shocked the world with a time that, for his age, was pure madness. No hype, no marketing, no records behind him. He just showed up, ran with surgical aggression, and took the win. The most interesting part? His past. He comes from the steeplechase, and that means something powerful. He's strong. He's efficient. He's durable. And above all, he has mechanics that let him run fast without breaking down. Analysts warn that this kind of transition is lethal for rivals. Because when a steeplechaser learns marathon rhythm, he usually turns into a monster. And Tequillei is right at that point. He trains with massive volume, surrounded by a team aiming to take him to the top. He's got both physical and mental room to grow. His best version hasn't arrived yet. And when it does, he could be the Ethiopian who brings the endurance crown back home. If he combines experience with raw speed, we might be watching the next era of the marathon taking shape. Third name, Benson Kipruto, a man who doesn't need introductions, because whenever he enters a big race, something happens. In New York, he proved it again. A course where almost no one runs comfortably, where wind, hills, and chaos destroy favorites. But not him. Kipruto doesn't win because he's the fastest on a perfect day. He wins because he can suffer when everyone else pays the price. His resume is brutal. When races turn ugly, when the miles stretch and legs give out, Kipruto stays solid. His personal best shows he has raw speed, but his true weapon is competitive intelligence. He knows when to wait. He knows when to punish. And he knows exactly when to strike the final blow that young runners can't answer. Experts say he's the type who'll cause the most problems in coming years, because he already knows how to win, how to handle pressure, and how to adapt to any course. If he stays healthy and completes a perfect training cycle, he could become one of the most complete marathoners of this new generation. Kipruto isn't a rumor. He's a real threat. Fourth name, Korir, a runner who did what very few can claim, winning Boston, the most treacherous course in the world. Boston forgives nothing, not impatience, not mistakes, and definitely not runners who don't know how to suffer. But Korir handled it all, effortlessly. While others froze on the hills, he kept moving without changing expression. While the race shattered behind him, he held a rhythm that seemed impossible for those conditions. Korir is built for extremes. He doesn't need a flat course. He doesn't need perfect weather. He needs chaos, because that's where he shines. Coaches talk about his ability to hold high pace even when his legs are empty. They say he has a kind of endurance you can't measure with numbers. You measure it with the mind. That's what makes him dangerous for the next few years. If he finds a stable season and combines his mental toughness with refined preparation, he could win not only Boston, but any brutal race where others fall apart. Korir proves that marathons aren't won just with speed. They're won with character. Fifth name, Alphonce Felix Simbu. This year, he did what almost nobody expected. Won gold at the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo by just 0.03 seconds. He became the first Tanzanian ever to win a world marathon title. He didn't have the year's fastest time, but in the toughest race of the year, he delivered the strike. Heat, humidity, pressure, everything was against him. And yet he waited and found a finishing kick no one saw coming. When others crumbled, Simbu took his chance. He entered the final stadium stride for stride and won with a textbook comeback. What makes him dangerous isn't just that gold medal. It's that he earned it when the favorites were broken. Give him a fast, dry course, and he could go from surprise winner to dominant force. Simbu is exactly the kind of runner you should be watching, because he can appear when you least expect it. Now comes the dangerous part, because beyond these 5 names already shining, there are 2 whispers, 2 runners being mentioned in training camps, elite circles, and private conversations that never reach the media. 2 athletes who could blow everything up when they finally make the leap. First rumor, Kiplimo, a runner who scares people before even entering the marathon fully. He recently broke the world half marathon record with a time that looks like science fiction. And the craziest thing? It didn't even look like his limit. When he debuted in the marathon, many thought he'd take it slow, learn, adapt, take years to reach the top. But no. In his second marathon, he ran a time that sent alarms through the entire elite field. 2 races, 2 statements, and a progression that makes no sense for someone so young. Kiplimo floats when he runs. His stride looks effortless. His efficiency, something others take decades to master. And his ability to suffer comes from Uganda's brutal training hills. Coaches say his closing pace is inhuman. When everyone else is just surviving, Kiplimo is accelerating. And here's the unsettling part. If he commits 100% to the marathon, he could destroy current records faster than anyone expects. He's not just a rumor. Kiplimo is the shadow hanging over all the rest. Second rumor, Bute Gemechu, a runner no one had on their radar until his marathon debut. And it wasn't normal, not cautious, not conservative. A clear victory, with a time that, for a first attempt, was a declaration of war. Experts went silent when they saw the clock, not because it was a record, but because it looked too easy. Jimichu ran like a veteran, yet he's just starting. Clean form, steady rhythm, unreal composure when others start to crumble. The most intriguing part? Rumors from his camp say his training times are being kept secret. They don't want to expose him too soon. They're protecting his progression because his true potential hasn't been revealed yet. If he steps onto a major start line, if he targets a big victory, he could become the surprise of the year. Jimichu is the kind of runner you never see coming, until he passes everyone. Now that you know the 5 runners setting the pace, and the 2 rumors that could change everything, the question is, who's really the most dangerous? If we talk about pure speed, Kiplimo is terrifying. If we talk about consistency, Sabastian Sawe is the most reliable. If we talk about youth and potential, Tadis Tequillei has the longest runway. If we talk about experience on tough courses, Benson Kipruto and Korir remain the most complete. If we talk about mental toughness, few can match Alphonce Felix Simbu, the world champion. And if we talk about the unpredictable wild card, Bute Gemechu could blow the script apart. The exciting truth is this: there is no clear new king. There are 7 contenders, each with a completely different profile, and a throne waiting for the next marathon monster to claim it. The next few years will be wild, and one of these 7 names could dominate the decade ahead. The marathon is at a unique turning point. One generation is fading, and another, faster, fiercer, and hungrier, is waking up. The question is, who will take the crown? Will it be Saw's cold precision, Tequillei's youth, Kipruto's experience, Korir's toughness, or Simbu's resilience? Because if Kiplimo or Jimichu confirm what they're showing, we could be witnessing the biggest revolution in marathon running in decades. Tell me in the comments, who do you think will be the next great dominator? And if you want to see why elite runners fly while everyone else stays behind, click the video on your screen right now. I promise it'll surprise you.